past few years have been a challenge for our congregation. Not only were we faced with life during a pandemic, but also with the loss of both pastors. First Presbyterian Church has faced difficult times in the past, but our strong history serves as a foundation for our future and provides us with the strength needed to press forward with confidence.
Almost every Sunday during a song, I tear up because I do feel fortunate that my kids are in a place that I grew up in and that my grandparents chose to be a part of 70 years ago. I remember dressing up for Easter and wearing hats and the frilly socks on Palm Sunday, obviously waving the palms that we do today. My mom was always big on volunteering at church, and it was really my first exposure to giving back to a community. So we would help in the office. We volunteered in the food pantry at Caritas, did Meals on Wheels. For me, the most important thing growing up here is that I always felt loved. I always felt like I was given grace to be the best person that I could be. March of 2020 was the beginning of a difficult time for everyone. It certainly tested my faith, and with everything that went on in our church, our family had to make the difficult decision whether or not we wanted to stay in this church or not. And ultimately for me, every time comes back to community and just feeling like this has continued to be my village throughout the entire pandemic. And as much as I regret what our church has had to go through and sometimes still feel anger and resentment about it, I know that I would not have had to recommit my own faith, and I would not have met the people I have met and become close to them if our church had not been through this experience. At this point, I'm just so excited that we have our new pastor coming in, and I see so much hope for the future, and I feel like the best is yet to come. And I'm very excited for my own kids to grow up in this church and be surrounded by friends and families the way I was. In my grandfather's words, he says he felt like it was just a good idea to raise his kids in the church. And he stands by that to this day. I just am very grateful that I get to be a part of that legacy and I get to pass it down to my kids.
One of the first things that drew me to First Presbyterian Church was how engaged the congregation is with mission, even in the midst of a pandemic. This is a church that wants to share and to be the good news in this community, this region, and the world. I'm thrilled to be here to work with all of you in your ministries and to be part of a congregation that welcomes all those who seek God's grace and love. The sun is rising on a new day at First Pres, a new day that holds great promise that this church will continue to grow in faith and faithfulness. So let us step forward in faith as we consider how we are called to share the gifts that God has entrusted to us, gifts of time and talent, as well as financial support.